And we're back, Tony, for some bad news, actually. News just broke that Anthony Richardson is likely to miss the rest of the season with the shoulder injury. He's having surgery. Jim Irsay probably tweeted this shit because that dude's just completely gone crazy. He started to break news like he's Ian Rappaport or Adam Scheffner from his own Twitter page as the owner of the Indianapolis Colts. But reaction to the news, Tony, and let's just talk a little bit about Anthony Richardson's performance this year. We saw some good things. We saw some bad things. One of them being not sliding. Maybe he's learning his lesson here about not sliding and trying to run over two people at once every single time he runs the ball. But what's your take on the injury? I know it hurt you in fantasy football really bad, so you're probably really bummed out about it.
I'm always going to be more bummed out for the young people who are sacrificing their, lives and, free time and all that stuff to go out there and ball. But real quick, some of these owners are starting to be owners like they're on sodium pentothal, like they're on like the truth serum. You know what I'm talking about? Like the movies where they're like, let's give them some truth serum. You don't need to be so honest. Like Jerry Jones before the Monday Night Football game was just saying stuff, and he's always saying stuff about the situation with the Cowboys and causing drama. Like, just, you don't need to keep it 100 all the time. That's all I'm saying with that. As far as Anthony Richardson goes, like, this is extremely unfortunate because even the sample size that we have, he only finished one of the 3 or 4 starts that he made this year. So it's like, I'm glad they're shutting him down if this is like what he needs to come back and be 100% healthy, because I do think the Colts have a good enough team with him to potentially win the division. Like, the Jags have been good, but I don't think that they're like a lock like I did in the preseason to win. Titans are going to have their issues, especially if Tannehill's out for a couple of weeks. And then you got the Texans, where it's a really good feel-good story that could turn into something, but no guarantees there. So I do think the Colts have had a shot, a better shot with him. But why wouldn't the same thing occur next year? You know what I'm saying? Like, until we see that there's like an actual understanding of like, my health has to be number one no matter what. Because we saw this with RG3, and we're seeing it with somebody like Josh Allen. Like, Josh Allen is literally taking back years off the end of his career because of the style of play that he plays. That we saw something similar with Roethlisberger. The front end of his career, all those hits he took, standing big and tall and strong in the pocket, and getting broken noses in those Ravens-Pittsburgh Steelers matchups. The same thing is happening with Anthony Richardson, where it's like, yes, you are big and strong and fast and all of these wonderful things that we like to see, but there's also like a point where you just have to take care of your body. Like, getting 4 yards isn't worth it. Throw the ball away. Because what we need and what your team needs is for you to be on the field. When he was on the field, he was so exciting to watch. And you do still have to use that athleticism to your benefit because you make big plays. But it's like picking and choosing the right moments, maybe on 3rd and longs. And there's still a quarter and a half of the game or the first half of the game. Like, maybe that's one where we just sort of put it 4 rows up. Throw it off the rafters. Everybody was excited about that. Remember that when he just threw that deep ball and hit the rafters? Hey, get a TikTok highlight. Chuck it off of the ceiling.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do to avoid as many hits as you can, especially in this league at that position, at that size. They're coming for your head, man. And I know Lamar's been injury prone, but most of Lamar's injuries have kind of just been like freakish injuries. I feel like he's done a good job of using his athleticism to get the yardage that he needs to gain, and then gets down, gets out of bounds. He throws a lot of balls away. Same thing with like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is running around like crazy, juking out defensive linemen. I'm always thinking, like, you're one juke away from just getting absolutely fucking flattened and pancaked into the ground. But he's smart about it. He's actively thinking about when is the time to take the risk and try and extend the play. When is the time to just take the L on this one and move on to the next one and avoid the serious hit. And when he's running down the field too, he always slides. So, and same thing with our guy Herbert. Herbert slides a lot. He stays out of harm's way. After his rookie year, he put himself in harm's way a ton. And it's something that Anthony Richardson is going to have to learn, because that RG3 rookie year, the Cam Newton MVP season, Those are miracle one seasons. It's not going to happen very often in the NFL that you're going to be able to play like that at quarterback, even at running back. Let's just be honest. Running backs have a hard time playing like that, and they have to try and run through people. It's going to be hard to stay healthy if you do that throughout the course of the season. And I hope that AR takes that learning lesson this year and applies it to next year. It sucks that it's his shoulder, and I don't want it to be something else. But I feel like it's going to take a lot longer for him to get throwing again and continue his development forward, because these years in players' careers are very important. Very quickly, Trey Lance went from this ultimate prospect to a complete bust. And in my opinion, a lot of it was because he just couldn't stay on the field, whether it was for play or injuries. He never got that time to develop as a quarterback to really use his talents to the ability that he can. And Anthony Richardson has that same potential to be a phenomenal player in this league that's very hard to stop, and a guy that if in your offense, you have a chance to win any given game, no matter what the situation is for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm also super bummed, Tony, that we didn't get to see any Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson like duo work back there in that backfield. Read options, eventually RPOs would have been a lot of fun to see, because now you got a bruiser in Taylor, a bruiser and a rusher in Anthony Richardson that could take the ball. And then when Mike Pittman gets the ball, he's been very good with the ball after the catch. So those RPO games would have been a lot of fun to see those plays get installed that we see with AJ Brown in Philly and Jalen Hurts and them. He's another guy that you got to give some credit. He is good at protecting himself and staying healthy. Jalen Hurts is found a pretty good balance at that too. Yeah, I hope it's just a learning lesson for AR. You never want to see a guy get hurt. We are both big fans of the kid. Both of us are mega fans of him. We want him to succeed. I'm so bummed we didn't get to see Jonathan Taylor. I wanted to see 15 and 28 together this year.
Yeah, I traded away one of my favorite Chargers just to get him in a dynasty league. Like, I traded away Mike Williams, who I traded for last year, and was like, there's no way I would move him, but I was excited about the potential of Anthony Richardson. I still am. I think that we're seeing a little bit of it with Jalen Hurts this year. Like, if you watch, the game is different. Last year, he missed games at the end of the season and then still wasn't right into the Super Bowl because of the shoulder. And we're seeing the effects of the Eagles' offense, and him is they're still trying to figure things out. Obviously, they have a new offensive coordinator there because Steichen is with Anthony Richardson in Indianapolis. That was tough for me to get through. But if the idea is that the shoulder is going to need surgery at some point, I think it's way better to get the surgery now, right? And lose these extremely meaningful rookie season reps than it would be to wait until January when the season is over. I mean, we're assuming that the Colts aren't going to the Super Bowl with him. So in January would be the earliest you could. You could also potentially end up maybe making it worse in that time. And then he's definitely not ready for week 1 next year. So I think if it's now, you get him out, the surgery's successful. The one downfall I will say to the team, more of like a team thing, Michael Pittman's in a contract year. You're not getting to see reps with him. Like, is he a guy that works well with Anthony Richardson? Should we make the investment in him and give him that 4 years, $80 million contract as a wide receiver? Like, you're just not going to get a chance to see all of that. Now, they've seen more than us. They saw all the training camp and practices and all that. So maybe they know for sure that it already is a winning combination. But that's kind of the one downfall that you don't really get to know as a fan. Like, is that something that they should lock up Pittman and keep that combo together?
Yeah, and that's the risk reward there that you're playing that game of deciding when you shut down a season, when you should keep him going and playing through injury. But I think you're right. I think it's better to get it done now. The team is not like they're better than we expected, but they could use a few more pieces on defense. They could use just some more experience for Josh Downs and some more development out of some of the weapons. Jonathan Taylor, handle that situation however they're going to handle it, whether he's getting traded, whether he's going to stay on the team long term, and then run it back next year with a healthy Anthony Richardson. He's going to have a full off season like he did this year, and we saw what it did for him. He improved a ton from college to the NFL already, and let's get it rocking. It's just such a bummer. Such a bummer. Also, another thing, Tony, if you play him through the injury, what does that do to his confidence if he plays bad with an injury? That's not good. You don't want to see him out there just playing shitty because his shoulder's hurt and he can't do anything about it.
Yeah. Well, since it is the throwing shoulder, like,
Yeah, it'll definitely affect him. Yeah.
if you shut him down for 6 to 8 weeks, you bring him back and it's not right, you just wasted essentially, like, he could be throwing again maybe at the end of the season. He could be throwing again, like, on a program, on track, and training again in January. If you waste that 6 to 8 weeks, now all of a sudden you push that back into what, like March, April?
Yeah.
We're starting to get rookie mini camps are coming in, and he's just now getting back on track and everything. Like, there's, to me, the mental side, I kind of already feel like we've seen that this kid is tough, because I can't imagine that he didn't hear every single person doubting him and saying, he's a project, this is going to take a really long time. And then he gets out there and he was playing way better than people thought he would. Like, yes, there was still some accuracy issues, but everybody was like, he's not ready for a pro style game. He's not going to be able to do certain. That was all put to bed. He got out there, was making some great throws, great reads. Yep. He was showing you that he is an NFL caliber quarterback on many levels. So I'm excited about the future. I'm happy that they shut him down now, because you would prefer to be looking at this 10 to 12 year span, not 10 to 12 week span. Look at big picture.
I agree with you. And especially with the situation with the coaches, they just brought him in, all that kind of stuff as well. Like, they have time to work on it. They don't need to just push forward and try and win the AFC this year. They have plenty of time to work on it, and they have plenty of time to let him heal and get better, get healthier, and study, man, and work on the mental side as much as you can while you're hurt. So that way, when your time comes again, he's ready to keep dominating. I think it is clear to Colts fans, at least, because there's a little bit of chatter, like, who's the better option to win right now, Gardner Minshew or Anthony Richardson? It's pretty clearly 5.
Yeah, I don't. Honestly, it's. I was never in that camp, so I'm not quite sure. Like, I think that. Okay, let me say this. Maybe I was a little bit in that camp in week 1, first quarter, but by the end of the first game, I was like, no way. Like, they almost came back and won that game, and he was a big reason for that. And he ended up leaving that game early, but he
left that game early trying to truck 3 people.
Yeah, which you just can't do.
On the 1 yard line after a first down. Like, you're about to get 4 downs to score, and you try to truck 3 people in. It's the same thing that Josh Allen will do. Dude will run right, like they're right to the left of him. The sticks are right to the left of him. He'll run right by the first down and then try and hurdle someone on the other side of the marker.
He's trying to hurdle people who aren't even on the field sometimes. I'm like, what are you doing, Josh? But like 2 plays before he got hurt in game 1 versus the Jaguars, he also ran for a first down. Like, it was just kind of like it was all moving in that way in week 1 for Richardson. On that drive, he's like, I want to win this game. I want to win my first start type of situation. Yeah. And he ends up banging up the knee or whatever on the first one. Then he gets a concussion in week 2. And then he doesn't finish that game. Then he doesn't play week 3. He finally finishes a game in week 4 and looks tremendous. Yeah. Week 5, shoulder goes out. Season over. So
get better, AR.
Yeah.
Get better, Richardson. We want to see it, man. I saw a clip of like a fan that ran into him in Walmart. Seems like he was a cool dude. Like, he was super gracious to the fan. He was messing with them. So, are you Anthony Richardson? He's got like the blonde hair. They're in Indianapolis. He's 6'5". Like, it's obviously Anthony Richardson. He goes, no, man, I never heard of him. Never heard of him before.
Yeah.
And then the fan's like, you look exactly like him. That's crazy. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm Anthony Richardson.
That would have been great if he would have just been like, don't tell anybody, but he has lookalikes that he just sends around town so that
working on his PR.
Yeah. More people can say, you know who I saw today? Well, he's just in the lab getting better at QB.
Let us know in the comments, y'all, what you guys think of Anthony Richardson's rookie season. He only got to play a couple games, only got limited reps out of him, but there's definitely some flashes and bright spots. What do you guys think his career outlook is looking like going forward from here? Anything else, Tony?
He's going to make it tough for Trevor Lawrence. That's what I took away from his rookie year. Is that he's going to make it.
Oh, yeah.
It's
going to be a fun. be a fun division for years to come with CJ Stroud in there as well.
Yep. Oh, wow. That's maybe even better.
All youngsters.
That's a bigger problem, I think, than what we got going on right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Mahomes. Okay, last question. Mahomes is the mountain that everybody's trying to find a way to get over, move, destroy in whatever fashion. But I think if you could have 3 elite level quarterbacks in the next 4 to 5 years,
if Shane Steichen and DeMeco Ryans continue to work out with great coaches.
Yeah. So let's say 2 of them pan out to be elite level, top 5, and the last one is a top 10. That's a tough division to be in, right? Yep. And who knows, your boy mayonnaise guy, Will Levis, maybe he's it. Maybe he's number 4 for the greatest division of quarterbacks ever assembled.
I've been dead right about a lot of players, Tony, and I've been dead wrong about a lot of players. I can guarantee you, Will Levis. That's a whole other topic. Will Levis is not going to be an elite quarterback in the NFL, but that's a whole other topic, Tony. All right, we'll see you guys in the next one. Again, leave us your thoughts on Anthony Richardson's rookie season and any comments you guys have about the NFL or what we've talked about here today. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, helps out a ton. Share with NFL fans, that helps out a ton as well. We'll see you guys on the next upload. Or live stream. I don't know which one it's going to be, but we'll see you then.